Hey folks, Grease Gaming again with another video for you guys, and today I got another video on World of Warships, and this is going to be a discussion video on basically the new stuff that we've been hearing, and one of them is Ranked Battles. It's coming once again, next season. Last season was, let's see here, it's not shown here, I forget right now off the top of my head. I think it's Tier C7, Season 7 was last, so. But this season is going to be Tier 6, so thought we'd go over kind of some of the ships we might see, some of the personal favorites I think I would recommend, and, you know, put my 2 cents in it. So let's start with the carriers, because there will be carriers, there's no doubt about that. So for Tier 6 we have 2 lines. We have the Independence, and we have the Ryujo. Now, if I was going to pick anything, I definitely would pick for a carrier the Ryujo, because you have basically a better setup all around. You get the ability to go 1-2-2 or 3-1-1, fighter heavy. If I were picking anybody, it'd probably be having everybody do the 1-2-2 setup for strike. So that would be probably my bet on that, and it is a way better carrier to play anyway. Decent anti-air, decent defense, and it will definitely do enough terrorizing to defend your allies or hit your enemies. So, there we go. I don't know, the Independence is decent, but you can't strike. You can't hit anybody. The only way you can strike is 1 fighter and 1-2 bombers. Most people, well, bombers. Most people play the 2-1 setup, the 2 fighters and 1 bomber. So, that's my thoughts on it. Americans really aren't going to be doing much except air superiority and keep the air covered. But other than that, you're basically a sitting barge. So I don't think that's going to be a great choice. But that is my opinion. Anyway, back to my pride and choice. My ships that I do decent in, or people see me prefer to play, my battleships. And whew, this is gonna be a doozy. There's a lot of battleships in this game in Tier 6. You get the Dunkirk, the Wallspite, the Bayern, New Mexico, Arizona, Mutsu, and Fuso. So, what ships do you think, Raz, are going to be in Tier 6? Well, I think Tier 6 you're going to see a lot of the Fusos. Far gun range, decent speed, not the greatest anti-air, but you'll be fine there. And you have a pretty decent torpedo protection. You get 36% on the torpedo protection on low voltages, so it's not bad. Mutsu, yeah, bigger hit, but torpedoes, not great good torpedo voltages, not that great accuracy. That's going to be a tough sit-in for Tier 6. Arizona, that's a different story. Decent torpedo bulges at 37 as well. Really good heal amount. Very, very powerful brawling guns. The only problem with an Arizona is its anti-air, since it is a Pennsylvania class that did not have been buffed up enough before Pearl Harbor. Hence why she was pretty much destroyed, actually, and if not, was completely eradicated during Pearl Harbor. Then we have the New Mexico, which is buffed up. This does have the anti-air buff up, and it has even better torpedo protection. It has 42% compared to the previous ones. She also has a fast sloop of anti-air defense, and she has very good armor. Pretty much, if she is bow in, nothing is going to pen this bad boy at Tier 6. So that would be another good choice as well. Bayern, that's a tough sit-in. Not very good torpedo bulges, not that really good heavy-hitting guns. The anti-air is definitely buffed up to 59 points, but it's nothing to shake a stick at and say, oh my god, this thing's powerful. So, I don't know, you could use it, but I don't think it's very good. Its health pool compared to its other predecessors, the Germans definitely don't have a very good power. Warspite, Again, doesn't have very good torpedo protection. The guns aren't very accurate, but they're very powerful. The turning radius on these things is waiting for paint to dry. But you do have your scout plane to buff up that range of 16.3. But 16.3 is an extremely short range for an Elizabeth-class battleship. So, again, things but no thanks. That's my calling on that. And then we have the Dunkirk, the French equivalent to their battleships. Yes, front nose, can't pen for crap. Decent allure of guns. Terrible anti-air defense. The only way you can actually swap planes down is to use your fighter. You actually use a fighter, not a bomber or a scout plane. You could use scout if you have a carrier that can overhead to defend you, but again, this is a ship that is not going to be screaming, I'm gonna wreck people. You could, but it's not that great. So now let's get to the other meat and potatoes, the cruisers. We have a lot of them in here, so let's get over this really fast. Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you right now, Clevelands are going to be in that rank. So, the air cleaner. It was great during previous battles and stuff like that for Tier 6, and she is still quite good for Tier 6. Her Citadel is going to get penned, flat out. People are going to target this thing, because the chance of fire, if you buff it up, can be really, really good. 14%. And very good 6-inch guns that just span fire HE at a high arc over islands can cause major damage to you and your allies. So, you will be seeing Clevelands in there. I might grab my Cleveland. Badioni is another class of ship as well, I think would be in there. Hell, I might actually buff this ship up for rank this season, because her chance of fire as well is really good, 14%. And I don't think, yeah, I do have Demolition Expert, so this ship can be very powerful, very good chance of fire, not that great armor, but you know what, with torpedoes and close range tactics, you can take out destroyers, you can spam fire onto the battleships, and spam fire HE, wrecking them for days. Nuremberg, not so much. I'm going through the non-premiums here, folks. Poor armor, pretty bad placement sometimes of the guns, not the greatest anti-air defense compared to its predecessors, and it's the same guns pretty much compared to the Tier 5, and the Tier 5 was smaller, so you can't get hit as hard. Leander, that is gonna be a fun one to play. Smoke, hydroacoustic, single firing lancing torpedoes, spam firing APHE type shells that are going to pen and hurt really bad, especially to the destroyers, especially to cruisers, and hit the deck armor and massively destroy battleships to Tier 6. This ship is going to be terrifying on the seas. So this is another ship that you might want to watch out for, and might recommend for that one. It's a very good ship. Now we're going to the new ones, French. Good Gaussian there. She is again with 14 chance percent of fires. She has very good, decent spam firing and very decent torps. However, there are only 2 lances of these torpedoes. They do have a high amount of damage with a decent range and very fast speed, but these things are very, very hard to get the targets to, unless you really get in a good position to hit them. Would I recommend this ship? If you're really good at this ship, use it. If you're not going to be good with this ship, don't pick it. But you do have a good anti-air defense, so if you want to use it, you could be using it for anti-air. It's at 45 currently. If you buff it, you probably can do as much as good as a Cleveland in certain aspects. Now let's get into the premiums and one more ship, the Aoba. Decent torpedoes, very good chance of fire, 19%. But your armor is dog shit, and your gun turrets take forever to turn, and they take forever to reload. So you're not going to be doing as bad as damage as the other ones. So I don't actually think I'll be using Aoba. I could try this season, but I don't think I'm going to be trying Aoba during this rank season. Now, we have a few premiums. The Molotov is one of them. That's a good one. It's got really fast, powerful spam firing guns, very laser type cannons. Chance of fire is lower than the non-premium, but she has decent armor to boot, fair anti-air defense, and she has very strong, powerful hitting guns. So that could be a good cruiser for you to choose from. Then we have the pocket battleship Garage Bay. You have Heel, you have long torpedo lances, you have two guns that are basically the same as this on a Scharnhorst. So you have very, very powerful, potent guns that can actually hit a battleship pretty hard. But low anti-air defense, poor concealment, very, very poor armor against a battleship, and very slow speeds. You're gonna hang in there, but you're gonna be troublesome. So if you can use the Garage Bay and you're pretty good at it, go for it, man. But as for me, I'm gonna stay away from this ship this season. And now the last one, the Italian new one, the Duca d'Aosta. I love this ship. Decent guns, massively powerful AP rounds, good scouting plane to spout and fire, very fast, very slow but long lance torpedoes. Maneuverability is good, but the armor is not going to be great. Your torpedo bulges are non-existent at only 10%, and you're basically a buffier version of some of the Russians. So, maybe, but again, it's going to be rocky. You're probably going to be seeing a lot in Ranked the Leander, the Cleveland, and the Budyoni. You might see a few Garage Bays, a few tiny Aobos, but they're going to get wrecked very first in the game. The Gaussianaire might get wrecked pretty quickly too. It counts in the position because sometimes you could, with this armor, you could get away with the Citadel stuff, but it counts on who's shooting at it. Now for the destroyers. We got Fubuki, Azuharu, Farragut, Gnevny, Gaide, as the Anshin. Anshin right off the bat, nope. Not gonna play the Anshin. This thing is terrible. I had too many problems with the Anshin. The torpedoes are too short. The gun range is not that great. The chance of fire is just not that terrible. You can't basically do anything except just hope not to die. The Grade, you got the 150s, so you could buff and hit them pretty hard with the guns. Your smoke's short though, so that's gonna be a problem. But you have very good torpedoes. You got 8-kilometer torpedoes that have pretty decent damage, 13,000 damage. So that could be a good choice. If you like the Germans, there you go. The Russian Gnevny, I've been crying over salt over that because it used to be tier 5 and I never had a problem with it. Now that it's in tier 6, she's a living nightmare. She can't ever really hold up to her tier 6 counterparts. In random battles, you're always up tiered, basically in tier 6 anyway, so you're pretty much screwed anyway with a ship that basically is designed for tier 5 that's been pushed into tier 6 and having to deal with even harder hitting targets. Farragut's a different story though. Good smoke, good chances of fire, massive spam firing of that, decent torpedo lances of 6.4 with very fast speeds. However, unless you have a buff commander in this thing, I wouldn't recommend it, because unless it's buffed, you're going to be really hurting, because you fire, you're instantly detected. So unless you can use this thing with a buff commander and know what you're doing, go for it. But for me, I don't have a very good commander in this thing, so this season might be out of it. Now for the Japanese. You have two. You have Fubuki, which I recommend, and Azuharu, I recommend. Raz, what are you talking about? You just recommended 2 ships. Well, there's a difference between the two. If you look at the modules, Fubuki basically has, again, twin torpedo lances, pretty decent reload time, pretty long lance speeds, and actually a pretty good slew of anti-air defense. if you need to swat down a plane, if you're lucky. But my favorite is got to be, hands down, is it? Yes. Is this one. This Fubuki. She's now put in tier 6 and she has 3 torpedo lances. Fair gunfire, not great, but fair. And there's still 10-kilometer torpedoes. Not to mention, you do have a very good fair carpet of anti-air defense. But my favorite is those triple torpedo lances. I don't like 2, I like 3 torpedo lances. Why, Raz? Because it's simple. If I fire 1 or 2, most cases 1 maybe hits a torpedo or 2, but if I fire my 3rd salvo, that 3rd one usually is the charm, and it usually hits somebody really hard, and then they're pissed at me. Once they hit the repair, then I fire my spam my Ichi, and now they're on fire, and then they're really angry at themselves. And usually that means game over for them. So if I was picking any destroyers this match, it's pretty simple. Maybe the Grade. I'd say maybe with the Farragut, but for me, if I'm using the destroyer, I'm bringing out my Fubuki. I'm bringing out the Fubooster. Because this ship is very powerful, very good anti-air defense, plenty of torpedoes, and very good lances setup. So, I think that's it. I don't see any other ships that I can think of in my list, but I will recommend that you guys figure out yourself, choose your ships wisely. If there's any other ideas or any thoughts you want to put in the comments down below. Let's have everybody discuss what they think would be good ships this season. More than happy to comment too on my 2 cents, because I know I missed something last season and I didn't want to miss them again, but I did my research a little bit beforehand, so, but like I said, I think we're going to see a lot of anti-air defense, a lot of speed, a lot of different movement, but tier 6 is a slew of ships, and we don't have to worry about that pay-to-win Belfast like last season. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Write your comments down below, hit the thumbs up if you like this video. As always, take care of yourselves, and I hope you enjoyed.